This is not a media failure. This is a failure of the Democratic Party. And I just sort of the virtue signaling that some people have done to try to say that the media missed this story. They didn't miss this story.
So,
David Ignatius wrote, I just refuse to accept this stupid premise because it's a right-wing manufactured right-wing premise in order to stain the media. The media's got plenty of things to attack them for, and there are MSNBC and CNN and pundits that absolutely carried water for Joe Biden.
well, Alex Thompson and I were on the case, as were lots of other reporters, trying to figure out what was going on behind the scenes. But the bottom line is the White House was lying, not only to the press, not only to the public, but they were lying to members of their own cabinet. They were lying to White House staffers. They were lying to Democratic members of Congress, to donors about how bad things had gotten. And in fact, Alex and I started writing this book after the election of 2024. And we spoke with more than 200 people, most of whom, almost all of whom, were Democrats, and almost all of whom wouldn't be honest with us or wouldn't be candid with us until after the election.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring. And George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil, chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
All right. What you saw at the beginning of the video was Chuck Todd, followed by Jake Tapper. Two of the media's most disingenuous people. These people are slobs. They are bums, both of them. Especially Chuck Todd. I mean, Chuck Todd is a straight-up slob. He's one of them bummy, unkept people. One of those people that try to be elegant, but they're a fucking bum. With his sleepy eye and shit. Yeah. Jake Tapper, total snake in the grass, total snap ahead. His claim to fame was messing with Bill Clinton's damaged goods. You're messing with Bill Clinton's damaged goods. Bill Clinton's trash became his treasure because after being with Monica Lewinsky, who of course is historically Bill Clinton's pump and dump side piece, he was able to move up the ladder politically, campaign for Democrats, and eventually be in the press himself representing the Democrats. And you could see them both blaming the Democratic Party for covering up Joe Biden's cognitive inabilities. And let me tell you something. There's something wrong with that, and there's something wrong with them. They're changing the narrative so that they can remain relevant. Jake Tapper's even writing a book, for Pete's sake. What disingenuous scum. And they're trying to say, and they're not the only ones. There's other members of the media that are doing this. I can't name them offhand, but they're trying to say that the Democratic Party tricked them into believing that Joe Biden was competent. Any one of you at home with a remote in your hand and a TV monitor in front of you could see Joe Biden was cognitively inclined. He was an incognitive mess and completely incompetent. Let me tell you something. This cat right here, this cat could run a country better than Joe Biden. Everybody saw that. Everybody saw that. But Jake Tapper can't. Chuck Todd can't. What are they thinking? These animals. They think they could pull the wool over our eyes? They didn't pull the wool over our eyes when they were trying to talk about how sharp he is. Oh, they fooled cabinet members. They fooled donors. They fooled us, the press. You, the press, were in on it. You guys are like mob snitches that flip and become snitches on your accomplices. And who are your accomplices? The Democrats in power. The Democrats who were in the White House for the last 4 years, and unjustifiably so. That Joe Biden victory, you know, was not fair and square. And fuck you, David Pakman, for trying to say that people are insane and can't be spoken to if they don't believe that Joe Biden is fairly and rightfully president from 2021 through January 20th of 2025. But here we are, looking back at this failed presidency, seeing the contrast of night and day between then and now, and select members of the press, namely Chuck Todd and Jake Tapper, are trying to lie to you. They're trying to gaslight you, claiming they were gaslit. They're trying to make it seem like they reported it the way they believed in their heart of hearts it was. They knew for a fact, all the press, not just CNN, not just NBC, ABC, MSNBC, CBS, CNN, Washington Post, New York Times, they knew. My God, they knew wholeheartedly Joe Biden was an incognitive mess. A friggin' bum who can't even afford a TV, walking past an appliance store that happens to have a bunch of TVs on the display, tuned into the news, showing Joe Biden, could tell you that Joe Biden was an incognitive mess. But Jake Tapper didn't know, Chuck Todd didn't know, these other networks didn't know. Get out of here with that. Stop lying to us. Stop talking to us with a forked tongue. Go to church and find God, you fucking sinners. So many levels of hell. Where belongs the forked-tongued beast known as the media that backs up and defends the Democratic Party and then turns around and claims they didn't know. They didn't know that what we could obviously see was actually so. Unbelievable. This is why you have to remain righteous, folks. Because you keep a good head on your shoulders, you stay sane. When God is in your life, you stay sane. And God guides you through things. That's why God is able to guide me through crucial automotive repairs that lives depend on, and instruct me directly what to do when making these crucial automotive repairs. And then whole families, including infants and pregnant women, go home safely in vehicles that I repaired. Because I do it by way of God's guidance. You go by God's guidance and not by the guidance of whatever Jake Tapper turns to for guidance or whatever Chuck Todd turns to for guidance. And you'll be all right. Righteous guidance from good God and holy heaven above. Respect God. Watch out for the Illuminati. Follow and share this content. Tell all your friends about me. Stay strong. Keep kicking that slang. It's your boy in the building. Hip-hop legend, recording engineer, underground rock and roll hero, MC Too Tall. Now you be good now.